My name is Carol Gravlin. I attended Kent Academy, which was a boarding school in Nigeria. I was born there and raised. We would be flying in on a little Cessna and dropped in a field where our parents would pick us up, and then after Christmas we'd go back to school till mid-June. So we did not see them very much of the time. There was nothing in the way of entertainment, no movies, no television, no radios. When I was at the boarding school, it was about 21 miles. When I was with my parents, it was 200 miles from a hospital. 21 miles away is a lot when you don't have direct phones like we have now. I went with a group of people to go swimming at a little shoreline by the river, and as we crossed the swinging bridge, a lady came screaming toward us, and her son couldn't swim and had been at his birthday party there with my brother. We finally got back to the main station and got shortwave radio to the hospital, and somebody came out, but it was way too late. The son and the father drowned that day. I fell off the bed onto a cement floor when I was maybe 9 or 10 months old. They just prayed and asked that I might get better by morning, and I quit crying. My mother had twins, identical twins, and that baby was born with a cord around her neck, and she died at just maybe an hour or two after birth. You know, that was very hard on my mother because that grave is out in Africa, and she came home from Africa and could never go to the grave site and couldn't get any help for that type of thing, which wouldn't happen now because we have monitors and we know when a baby's heart rate is decelerating. I didn't know it was poverty at the time because we never had much. People died from malaria. As far as HIV, I don't believe it was even a thing at the time. We never heard about it at all years ago. They died of venereal disease, things they would get from the water that was impure because they had nothing to purify their water with. What I loved was bubble gum, okay? I just loved bubble gum. We never got bubble gum out on the mission field, but we knew about it. My mom was 200 miles from a doctor for the most part on several of the stations that she lived on, and they were really appreciative of whatever she could do for them. They did have shortwave radio, and she would call doctors, and if they could get their relatives, you know, taken to a doctor on a donkey or something and it wasn't too harsh on them, they would take them, but it would be days sometimes a trip, and the people wouldn't make it. Missionaries, on the other hand, they had hospitals in the southern part near Lagos, and they had a big mission hospital in Jos near the boarding school, so that's the one that was 21 miles away. And it was a very efficient hospital, and people, you know, were really good doctors, and there were good things going on even in a small mission hospital that were pretty ahead of time.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.